There are so many food supplements out there, it's completely overwhelming. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the one vitamin, which is actually a hormone, that I would never go without and highly recommend. It's crucial to the health of our physical body, and in high doses, it has a positive effect on our emotional state too. I think you'll find this information pretty useful. Introducing vitamin D. Let's dive in. Hi, I'm Marie, qualified naturopath, yoga and meditation teacher with over 20 years of experience to share with you. So what exactly is vitamin D? Vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin, which means it easily moves across our cell membranes and into our cells, where it is a lifesaver for so many functions. And if you take vitamin D supplements with an oil like coconut oil, or better still MCT oil, which is extracted from coconut oil, it is absorbed even faster and more efficiently. Our body makes its own vitamin D3 just by exposing our skin to sunlight. But the amount of fear surrounding skin cancer and the problems associated with sunscreens, more and more of us are staying out of the sun. Now, I grew up and worked in Dubai for over 20 years, and a majority of women, they cover their skin when they're outside. So without supplementing vitamin D, the likelihood of them being vitamin D deficient is really high. Vitamin D is also made in the body when cholesterol is broken down, and it's actually zinc that helps this happen. Zinc enhances calcium absorption too. And of course, we can get vitamin D from some of the food we eat, such as egg yolks, mushrooms, butter, and oily fish. But if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, it's more difficult, and I would suggest taking supplements for sure. And the benefits on taking vitamin D: healthy, strong bones and joints that are free from inflammation, especially if you are over 50. Prevention is key. Vitamin D is essential for a high-functioning circulatory system, in particular the heart, and to lower high blood pressure. And the nervous system, we need vitamin D for responsive and highly functional nerve cells so that our response time to stimuli isn't delayed. And vitamin D is a guru when it comes to the prevention of things like respiratory illnesses, viruses, inflammation, and dementia. And your muscles, they absolutely benefit from vitamin D to prevent cramps and soreness, especially after exercise. As vitamin D is a super powerful natural anti-inflammatory, the lungs in particular can really benefit from vitamin D support, as it can lower the symptoms or indeed prevent asthma and lung infections. Our sinuses, they need to contain vitamin D to protect our respiratory system from viruses and bacterial infections. And really, if you want to improve the strength and resilience of your immune system, vitamin D is probably the most important supplement for fighting off viruses, bacteria, and other pathogens. Also, if you have inflammation in the digestive system due to IBS, leaky gut, taking vitamin D supplements is an absolute no-brainer. Now, there are a lot of us out there with autoimmune disorders. For example, asthma, psoriasis, eczema, rheumatoid arthritis, hay fever. So many allergies where basically your own immune system is attacking its own healthy body tissue. And all autoimmune problems cause inflammation, which always increases the problem dramatically. And vitamin D, what it does is reduce that inflammation so that you get better blood flow, free of blockages, so that means less outbreaks and way less symptoms. And guys, there's so many physical aspects of our lives that as we age need more TLC, like our skin, our hair, our joints, not forgetting a good night's sleep. We need this vitamin to control the sleep center in our brain, and this is important. Taking your vitamin D with a magnesium glycinate supplement before bed, and your sleep will be so much more beneficial. Also, it's important to take vitamin D long term for the health of your eyes, to prevent dry eyes and even glaucoma, especially later in life. And not forgetting our constant exposure to stress in our lives. We all have responsibilities, an ongoing to-do list, and challenges that keep our adrenal glands producing cortisol. And cortisol, as well as being a hormonal response to stress and a great anti-inflammatory, it regulates our blood pressure and plays a role in our blood sugar levels. But in order for cortisol to work effectively, it needs vitamin D. So if you are frequently experiencing stress, your adrenal glands will need an extra supply of vitamin D to produce sufficient amounts of cortisol. Okay, so deficiencies of vitamin D, and what do they look like? Classically, brittle bones, the inability for bones to repair themselves, osteoporosis, and unknown to most people, vitamin D deficiency leads to depression. Profoundly, a lack of vitamin D really does impair cognitive function. So your ability to recall, remember events, become confused, and forgetting things are all signs of low vitamin D. And really surprising, our mood is directly compromised by a lack of vitamin D. Now, direct proof of that is how you feel during winter, especially if you live in a cold country. Short days, grey clouds, rain, very little sun, a lack of vitamin D, it truly affects our mood. And if we think how amazing the body is to have the ability to take sunlight and convert it into vitamin D from cholesterol, wow. Big suggestion, if you are totally flat, you're feeling depressed, stuck, just take some extra vitamin D and see what happens. And a big sign that you're deficient in vitamin D is your hair. If it's very dry for no reason, unless of course you've been bleaching your hair, it's a huge sign that you have a vitamin D deficiency. Early graying of hair or hair falling out are also signs. And then there's skin conditions, itchy, inflamed skin. Additional vitamin D could really help. So how much should we take? Researchers of vitamin D, including nutritionists, medical researchers, scientists, tell us that taking 10,000 IU of vitamin D3 every day is a good amount to prevent deficiency and to experience the benefits. Interestingly, while I was researching vitamin D, this is what I thought was pretty shocking. The recommended daily amount of D3, according to doctors, is under 1,000 IU per day, which is so low, it's barely significant. And at this point, I have to ask the question, how much training in nutrition does a medical doctor receive? Put it this way, if doctors were given a huge amount of training in nutrition, then the pharmaceutical companies, well, they wouldn't do so well because patients would be guided to particular foods, to nutrients, supplements, rather than medical drugs with so many side effects. And the side effects? Well, they kind of are the effects. So according to thousands of scientific publications on vitamin D, we should take at least 5,000 IU each day to ensure that our bones, our cells, our brain, other organs are getting sufficient amounts of vitamin D. And no, there is no fear of overdosing, as you would have to be taking over 300,000 IUs every day for months to even see a trace of toxicity. And what else should we take with vitamin D? For vitamin D to be super efficient, it should be taken with magnesium, vitamin K2, and zinc. So let's go through each one of those. Magnesium works hand in hand with vitamin D, preferably magnesium glycinate. Why? Because magnesium glycinate is the most easily absorbed form of magnesium. Now, other forms of magnesium can be a complete waste of money, as less than 10% of it is actually absorbed into your cells. The rest is removed by your body as a waste product. So if you take vitamin D without taking magnesium glycinate, you end up with a magnesium deficiency, which is classically the cause of muscle cramps. Now, as well as magnesium, vitamin D needs to be consumed with vitamin K2, in particular for healthy bones. So whilst vitamin D is necessary to transport the calcium in the blood, vitamin K2 then takes that calcium from the blood and gets it into the bones, where it's essential for bone strength. Now, if there's a shortage of K2 in the blood, then there'll be a buildup of calcium in the arteries, and with nowhere to go, it ends up causing calcification, which leads to restricted blood flow. Now, if your diet is really good and you eat lots of things like spinach, kale, eggs, sauerkraut, you'll be getting lots of vitamin K2 already, so there's no need to supplement it. Now, in regards to getting sufficient zinc, if you eat a lot of things like cashews, pumpkin seeds, chickpeas, eggs, there's no need to supplement with additional zinc either. So in summary, how much of these supplements do we actually take? If, for example, you're taking 10,000 IUs of vitamin D3, then you'll need around 500 milligrams of magnesium glycinate, 100 micrograms of vitamin K2, and around 40 milligrams of zinc. And when should you take these supplements? As magnesium is renowned for a good night's sleep, you can take these supplements in the evening. Taking magnesium in the evening encourages the release of melatonin, the sleep chemical in the brain. It lowers your adrenaline so you can start to relax, and as a result, your muscles relax too. So taking your vitamin D supplements with magnesium glycinate before bed, you'll not only sleep better, but you'll also get a big reduction in inflammation. Now, I've included all of the details in the description below. If this video was useful, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you next week. Namaste.